This episode is going to propel you into one of the greatest years of your life. You're going to want to save this one, probably even download it, because we're going to talk to you once again about propulsion, purpose, but also intensity and set an intention. I'm telling you, please trust me. There's a part of our book that we're going to read to you. And there's a very emotional moment that happens on this show that if you watch it, it is going to reach you in a way that you've probably been needing someone to reach you. So let us be the people to do it. Watch this episode, okay? All the way from the beginning to the end. It's going to be engaging and entertaining, but it's going to be inspirational. Thank you so much for being a part of our audience. We're going to miss you until we come back. But do listen to this, subscribe and share, and go back and watch other episodes that we've laid down over the course of these 2 seasons.
As we step into 2025, you need to be prepared with these things. We're talking focus, we're talking power, and we're talking purpose. We have the framework. We're going to give you goodies on how to actually take the flight of your life and be ready when you face turbulence, when you face that takeoff, and also the landing phase of your life. Right. So let's do this.
She said, let's do this.
I'm ready, baby. Let's do it. How you feeling?
I almost choked for a second trying to breathe in too fast, but I'm feeling okay.
Listen, in 2024, we have seen so many interesting conflicts, adversities, political, natural disasters, wars. It has
and rumors of wars.
Insane.
We're seeing orbs in the air, drones.
The alien stuff?
Hey.
I saw that. What? What?
I mean, whatever it is.
I saw it. Alien stuff. Anyway, there's been cyber attacks. There's been a lot.
There's been a lot this year.
There's been a lot that has shaken this world, this country, and the hearts of people.
That's right.
So today we are going to make sure that if there is anything you get from this, it is the keys to get encouragement, the keys to literally the key. Well, not literally, figuratively. I wish I had a key for you. But actually, I do.
There you go. Flight of your life. There can be a literal key.
Flight of your life.
It's been unlocking a lot of lives recently.
Right here. To unlock your destiny, but also to help you be fueled throughout this year and throughout life. It's going to be incredible.
Yeah, it can be a great year for you. Oh. And we always say we hate that as every year turns, people kind of bring these mantras and new things. Yes. But there still is power to the right mindset.
Come on.
So what we hope is that what we give you today isn't just 2025, new year, new you. But honestly speaking, you have to remember who you are.
That's right.
Once you identify who you are, all you have to remind yourself of in every present moment is that I am.
Yeah.
I said something pretty deep there.
Come on.
The moment you recognize that, everything you need, everything you're looking for will appear because it will have already been pre-sent, if you remember that from the book.
That's right.
For you.
That's right. Come on. One of the best things about the holidays is that people like to continue them with their Christmas trees being up, with the gifts that they may have gotten and worn, but time goes on. Time moves on from holidays. Time moves on from the Christmas tree. And as time moves on, we want to give you something that will literally be the sustenance, to help you to maintain momentum in the flight of your life. So first, I want to talk about generators.
Okay.
During the storm, there are many people that have lost properties, damaged properties. They were scared. There's a lot going on there.
Now, I have to preface because not all of our audience is from where we live.
Right. Okay. Yes. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
So we live in
Florida.
Yeah.
Natural disasters happen.
All right. Yeah. We're out here halfway in the middle because there's also running jokes about what Florida is and
what is it?
I'm not saying that on the show. This is a
Paradise
family show.
Island.
That's right. Starts with a P. Paradise. That's right. So the paradise of America hangs out in the middle of the ocean, so to speak. And so we get a lot of storms that come this way known as hurricanes.
Yes,
and
we
some
do.
of our viewers are actually from other countries.
Yeah.
So shout out if you're not from
Woohoo!
America. But
Global.
yeah, so in this season, as these storms happen, I'm sure you have what you experience in your home country.
Yeah.
We typically have to run homes and businesses off of generators just to get power. And some of the people watching us like, duh, we do that every day. You know, we have power outages. Africa, some of our,
India.
they're like, we have it all the time.
Mhm.
But so that's what we're prefacing. Yeah, generators. Yeah.
Generators. And when you think about generators, they can be the life force
Sure.
to sustain when something bad happens,
Yeah,
right? And I thought about this because in our book, if you turn to page 185, if you don't have the book, you got to get it.
You got to get the book. I'm telling you, it'll change you.
We talk about how you are a living, breathing inspiration for impact.
Yeah, that's right.
And when you think about this, you are wrapped with a purpose, right? Imagine you're a present to the world. You are gifted with talents, skills, and abilities that are unique to the world.
That's right.
It's your framework, to be honest. And so speaking about this is so powerful because it's going to breathe life into you. It's going to encourage you, and it's going to help you to identify what you are as a generator and how you can be prepared to take the flight of your life and to take others with you. Okay. So Charles, really quick, when we wrote on page 185, you are a generator of power known as a propulsor moving forward, right? You are a living, moving, breathing being prepared for impact. Generate one. That's a command right there. Generate one. Love that. You were created for a purpose, with a purpose and by purpose. Your being presents the image of the supreme being.
That's right. You
were pre-sent to propel, aka move the needle forward, to be the fruitful and to multiply everything and in everything. And now a generator can produce a particular outcome on demand. Like the goose that lays golden eggs, you are invaluable. And you have the power. You have the power. You have the power to use your propulsive power to create impact in any lane that you wish to.
Absolutely.
Come on.
Absolutely.
Let's pick them. Let's help them pick one.
Well, sure. Well, the thing that I love the most, and when we were doing the research for this particular chapter, the word generator is incredibly insightful because typically we would limit our thinking to just generating power.
Right.
But when you break the word down and look at all of its meanings, you're going to see something in you that maybe you didn't know was actually there. A generator is all of these things. Listen carefully. An author, a founding father or mother, a builder, developer, a maker, a promoter, a begetter, inaugurator, co-creator, deviser, a pioneer, an encourager, a creator, initiator, co-founder, formulator, producer, galvanizer, establisher, institutor, conceiver, innovator, researcher, an inspiration, an originator, a contriver, an introducer, a researchist, an inspirer, a sire, an organizer, an inventor, a designer, or just a founder.
Come on.
You are a generator.
You know, as he read that, I started to get emotional. Because at any point, when you can identify that that's who you are, your purpose exists. Depression can leave. Anxiety can be rid. And it is so beautiful to know that all of those things are in you. All of those things are in me. And all of those things are in you as well. That's purpose right there. Just in knowing that I am a generator.
Yes.
I do self-identify with the words that you spoke. And to feel and to know that gives me so much more clarity and purpose, you know? So go ahead.
No, I think that's wonderful. And man, you know, every time this happens, it blows my mind. I love you for that. And it's so cool because there are plenty of people who say, I've written a book. There are plenty of people who say, you know, I made a course. But I'm telling you the honest truth, what we wrote in this thing is meant to truly speak to you, not from the topical level, but to your soul. And I love that, though we read this book, it took us 3 years to do the first edition and another year to do the second edition.
Right.
And it still impacts us. I literally still pick this book up and read it from cover to cover because of what's in there. And we wrote every word. No artificial intelligence, none of that. We penned this from who we are. And even saying that helps me to resonate with the reality that it came from in us. And much of this came during the years when the whole world shut down, but we didn't stop. We continued to create from the inside of us because we were at the point of doing the real research, of searching on the inside of ourselves, aligning ourselves with what God says about us, and trying to figure out how can we get to a place where we can produce something that moves and creates force. As my wife loves to remind me, I use this word often, propels others or creates propulsion in others. And I'm saying this because maybe when you heard those words, it did the same thing for you. And maybe seeing Coach Ivana have that resonant connection with those words will remind you that you too, wherever you are, no matter what level you may think you're on, you genuinely have always had the power on the inside of you to generate the life you deserve. There are restrictions. There are things you have to be mindful of.
Right.
Some people, gurus of the day, will tell you, you need to drop your spouse or drop this thing because this is where you're headed. We're not trying to advocate for that. That's not what we're saying, because sometimes the greatest purpose you'll ever have is being so purposeful and intentful with the spouse you have that you generate a change and accelerate your lineage, changing generations. But the reality is you have on the inside of you everything that you'll need to create the movement and generate the movement that you have been wanting to see in your life. You're not waiting on someone else, and you don't need for it to be perfect. You just need to start pushing forward.
Come on. I love that, because even in this, your purpose is not waiting for perfect conditions.
No.
It's just waiting for your commitment.
100%.
So I partner with the word generator. I partner with feeling and knowing that I am a co-creator. I'm a builder. I'm a co-founder. I'm an author. I'm establisher. Like those, producer, pioneer. When I heard that had nothing to do with self-identity of my role or position. That has nothing to do with that. That is my being. That is what I can generate. That is what I can contribute to the world. And when you know that, that's your superpower. You harness who you are, right? And with it, know this as well. All of those things are in you. That's your being. You are valuable. You are powerful enough to propel entire industries and people.
That's right.
You can generate the impact that you desire to have because you are made in the image of the Creator.
That's right.
Grasp the impact that you can have. Grasp is an action word.
Absolutely.
That's a verb, right? You've got to do the work too. And I think when it comes to preparing for takeoff, when it comes to trying to launch the business, trying to launch the podcast, all these different things that we try and effort to do, it does come with a moment, or it should come with a moment of reflecting on what you've already done.
Sure.
Giving yourself the power to know that, man, if I did it before, I could do it again.
Right.
And I could do it even better, partnered with people who will not only help me to aspire higher, but the more I collab and partner with individuals that are like-minded, I can elevate my thinking. I can elevate my business. I can elevate my creativity, talent, skills, and abilities. And with that, reset your heart with intention.
Sure.
Intention and commitment are everything. When people are intentional about a thing, you can feel it.
Yeah, of
you
course.
can. It's bigger.
Absolutely.
It's even bigger. Passion is the fuel of it, but it feels like monumental when someone has intention in their life, right? The way they move is intentional. The way they speak is intentional.
Everything.
And that's why so many people, they'll pay to see entertainers. They'll pay to see speakers invigorate and excite their lives because they're intentional beings. And yes, they have a role to fulfill, but that still comes with the ability to generate who they are onto platform stages.
And being honest, a lot of times, especially because we're talking about entertainers, they're generating who they're not. But they have...
We're not.
You understand?
Don't do it.
But I'm simply saying,
on.
though, the reality is the commitment. They have set
on.
an intention.
Yes.
This is where we're going.
Yes.
So even though this is not who I actually am,
Yeah.
my intention is to take this version of me here
Right.
so that this version of me can live the life that he or she wants
Aspires
to.
Exactly.
But you have to be responsible with that as
You
well,
have to be
because it can lead you in places and ways that you never thought you'd go. So I'm just saying that as a preface.
Right.
Yeah.
And embracing turbulence
Sure.
is something that I don't really see. We travel a lot on planes,
Yeah.
and people freak out. Okay.
Yeah, it's been
a lot of people freak
there's
out.
been some turbulent moments. I've had
Turbulence, shaking,
yeah,
the
people
quaking,
screaming.
the screaming, like
Yeah.
all of a sudden the plane is steady and then it drops or it dips or like what happened? Are we dying? Are we
I hate
living?
the ones when they're like the whole thing is like
That was very exaggerative.
That's
very
how it
dramatic.
was. Yo, but that's the reality. No, seriously.
You were Harlem shaking like that.
Babe, I've been on planes before through a storm where they even told us that unfortunately we're gonna have to go through this one. So buckle up.
Pause.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's a lesson.
You're
Life
going
lesson.
to have
You're
to
going
go
to
through
have
this
to
one.
go through
I kid you not.
this heart surgery, through these broken bones,
Yeah, sure.
through the business failing, through
Yeah.
bankruptcy, through listen.
Right, yeah.
Whatever people go through, you're gonna have to go through it.
Sure.
So that what happens? Did it ever level out?
Yeah, of course.
Did it ever
but
adjust?
it was the fastest way to get through to where we had to go. This one we couldn't
Wait,
break.
pause again.
That's right.
It's the fastest way to get through to the goal.
Yeah, the other
right?
side.
The
That's
other
right.
destination so that you can land safely.
Sure.
So to go through with power, ferocity, intensity, and force
Mhm.
is very complicated because a lot of people don't want to be uncomfortable.
That's the reality.
They don't want to feel any shaking in their life.
Yeah.
But shaking, from what you just said and your experience, produces the ability to make it to the other side.
Well, it also tests your ability to withstand. When I give a keynote, there's one keynote that I give, one of my signatures. Well, there's two, but I kind of use the same analogy in different ways in one of them. And I talk about the connection between intensity and consistency. And the distance between consistency and intensity is the gap. This is the gap between where we are, where you are, and where we want to be. Because consistency isn't king. Intensity is. See, most of us, we're consistent and we're okay with that.
Yeah.
I don't want to fly so high.
Yeah.
I don't really want to go through anything. I say I want these things, but I'm comfortable where I am.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to get to a point where you set your intensity, and be willing to go through whatever it is and go through it as hard as possible.
Yeah.
To show the thing that what you're determined to get to, you're going to get to.
Right.
Because you don't care what you have to go through to get to it.
Come on.
So I'm encouraging you to say that it is a test. It is a way of saying, I'm willing, as we talked about those words, to be a pioneer.
Yeah.
I'm willing to chart a course that no one else has ever traveled before so I can see what the other side is. And we even talk about that in our book. When you chart that course, a couple of things happen. First, it's going to be pretty lonely, and you're going to have to learn on the fly. Second, on the way through, you're going to run into some obstacles you didn't know were there. Yeah. I was telling a young person recently, if you're charting a path and you had to go through the woods, you want to establish a new city, I said, do you go around through the highways or do you go straight through it? Yeah. Said, I have to go straight through because no one knows where you're going till you get there.
Right.
But when you go far enough, people will see, what's this person doing? And they want to join you.
Yeah.
And then secondly, once they join you, you start to make a bigger path for more people.
Come on.
Once you settle, now all of a sudden everybody knows where you are and they want to go see this brand new thing that you've done.
I'm getting excited because I have a literal example of this. There are viewers in our audience that can attest to this moment, to where they might have been struggling with cancer. Their children might have been on life support or dying, or there were people that were inflicted with some type of infirmity or disease, right? And need support. There's a movie, Ordinary Angels, I believe it is, and it's one of my favorite with Hilary Swank. And this movie, in what you just said, just envision this with me if you're listening as well. A child was born with something wrong. the child needed a support, I would say, with the organ.
Sure.
If she did not receive the specific medical support, she would die. The father lost the wife as she gave birth to this child. So raising a child or children as a single parent, he had no money. He had to figure out how to support two girls with no money. Watch this. Through the adversity, he was willing to save his child's life no matter what. But as he was trying to save her life, the power came as somebody caught wind in the medical industry of the need. There was an outsider, but Hilary Swank came in and saved the day by raising the funds that would be needed to sustain the child's life. Fast forward all the way to the end. There was a moment of adversity where there was a storm. Imagine that your surgery and your ability to receive the transplant, the transfusion, whatever it is, was right there. The keys were right there given to you, but a storm came. And when that storm came, they weren't sure if they would be able to airlift her to this next destination on time, or else it would be moved to the next candidate. Right. So with that, the whole entire community, from politicians to churchgoers to strangers, partnered with this man's vision to save this child's life because they cared enough to look outside themselves and to collaborate with a bigger vision, with a bigger purpose, and this child was saved. When I saw that movie, it wrecked me. Destroyed me emotionally. I think that's the most I've ever cried in a movie in my life. And I was okay with that because that's someone's story. It actually happened. And I saw the power of when you push through adversity. That father could have quit. He was about to quit himself. He just lost his wife. Now his child is dying. That's a lot of grief. An audience, maybe you've suffered with some grief internally. Maybe you suffered with some grief with your family, with your friends, where there's a loss or something is happening. There is so much power because he had to be transparent with Hilary about the situation, about they didn't have money. So how are they going to afford the surgery? So when you're transparent, it unlocks the ability for someone to be implanted in your life to help you grow, to help you get to that next level. And you have to be willing to be transparent because they might have the power to transform your whole life. And so when I think about that collaboration and really honing in on the community of people, and not being afraid to be transparent in circles, being transparent at meetings, being transparent at whatever it is, you can find that growth can happen almost instantly because you're present and they're present. And if there's a need, they might be able to fulfill that.
Yeah, I understand that. So we're extracting some wisdom, man. All right. So, I mean, I hate to say spoiler alert, but that was clearly a great movie. We should have charged tickets for that, pretty much.
But
and
it's
you
been
even
out
said,
for a while.
And at the very end, the very last thing.
All right, let's edit that out. Okay, let's just edit
that out. And don't you guys come for us if you happen to know who produced this movie or you happen to be the producer of the movie. Please go watch this movie. What was the name of it? Ordinary Angels.
No.
Ordinary Angels.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh my gosh. No. Well, listen, it's incredibly encouraging. And I was trying to listen very intently. I was like, okay, where? Yeah, I saw. Because I was like, where are you going? But also because it's true. We want to encourage you as you go into this next year with as much fire as possible. Yeah. We oftentimes say, and we're coaches, not just for athletes on or off the field, business leaders in their executive fields,
emerging leaders. Yes.
But we talk to people about the fact that you have to persevere. So I'm just simply saying, as 2025 comes, we're trying to push you with what we have.
That's right.
We're trying to give you what we can. Mm-hmm. And every coach wishes that they can perform for the other person. We literally have the energy, the intensity, we have it all, but you have to take it. Yes. And you have to run with it. And that's the intent of what we're trying to do with you. So 2025 can be your greatest year. Mm-hmm. It really can. And I want to say this, despite what may happen in 2025 to the rest of the world. Mm-hmm. I think that's one of the last things I will encourage you with. Stop being so focused on everything that's happening around you, missing the cues of what's happening on the inside of you. Because there are things that are on the inside of you that are signaling what you need to start intentionalizing and working toward to happen outside of you. Create something that's meaningful, that leaves legacy, that creates impact, that changes lives, that moves culture. Literally, you can change where you are. You can change your home. You can change your community. You can change your church. You can change your organization. But it begins with you recognizing that you are made to do it.
Yeah.
Don't wait on anybody else. You've done it enough, haven't you?
Right.
Honestly, it's not about the president. It's not about wars and rumors of wars. It's not about any of that, because you are the person that's still going to be held accountable for you.
That's right.
And I think that's what both of us are trying to encourage in you.
Yeah.
Take on ownership. Take responsibility.
Yes.
Take them for things you do. Take them for things you haven't done.
Come on.
Take them for words you've said. Take them for words you hadn't.
Mm-hmm.
Put them together and say, okay, what can I do now, though?
That's it.
I love this quote, and I'll end with this. Every day is the first day of the rest of your life.
That's right. Yeah, I love that.
So start now, and you can have a whole new experience.
Come on, start now, and you can have a whole new experience. I sat in a room full of women.
Sure.
There was one who was asked to stand up and share her testimony. The crazy part was she was 76 years old. She started a vision and finished it at 76. She had a dream as a child to write a book. She didn't feel like she was capable. She didn't feel like she believed in herself. It took her 76 years to be an international bestseller, to create children's books where they learn and grow. And we all stood and applauded her because she did it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, 76? So you're not too old?
You're never too old.
You're not too
right
young.
on time.
You're right on time. And I'm going to encourage you with this. Every flight, think about your life, every flight needs direction and power. In 2025, let's aim higher. Let's do it together. And know that the gold is inside of you. Even if it takes some digging to find it, it's inside of you, okay? So we thank you so much for allowing us to inspire you, to challenge you, to encourage you, and to love on you. I think some people just need a little love, just a little bit of love. And no matter what war turbulence happens in your life in 2025, one day at a time, each day is your gift. Make it count and forgive yourself when you feel like you're not doing enough or you're overwhelmed or burnt out. You've got the power. You've got the keys. Use them. We're here for you if you need us as well. Happy New Year.
Have a great year, guys.